For gear that's good as well, that's clean, join team and
Woofo.
in between the sets, between the sets.
Hello and welcome to the Bodysurf podcast. This is Between the Sets, a coronavirus special. Filling in for Owey tonight because Owey is in isolation. He's in quarantine. He's not able to make contact with us tonight. We've got our executive producer in the chair, Woofo. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, doing all right. It's been an interesting week, that's for sure, but I was able to get out for a quick surf on Saturday. How did you go?
I didn't get wet.
Didn't get wet, mate.
You knew that.
I'm stitching you up already. Now, you're notorious for being a bit of a barrel dodger. Why didn't you get out on the weekend?
Oh, well, as Robbie Miller says, if I was a worse dad, I'll be a heaps better body surfer. So, yeah, pretty much just doing the family thing.
Yep. Now, we do have a head of childcare. Do you ever think you could just drop the kids off with him and he could look after the child while you have a swim?
Well, just as when I was the head of childcare before Bondi, no one had any faith in me, and I definitely don't have any faith in Bondi. Sorry, mate.
Now, I actually went for a body surf with Bondi and with, who else was out? Jesse and Sean. We had a good little time. We were a bit unsure whether or not we were allowed to go to the beach. Some beaches have been shut because of the coronavirus. I think that's mainly popular beaches. They didn't want people getting too close to one another, but we were able to practice social distancing and we were able to not drop in on each other too many times, and not many people were kind of sitting on the sand and doing that whole Maroubra Bondi thing. The weather wasn't great on Saturday. The water was lovely. The weather wasn't great, so no one was really sunbaking and doing that thing. Because a lot of people said they were working from home and then they chuffed down to Bondi, and then ScoMo said, stop doing that. And then all these horrible rules have come in. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. What's happening in the world and how it's going to affect body surfing and the body surfing community. We've actually got a special guest on the line. We should get to him right now. The co-host of the Bodysurf podcast. Owey, are you there, mate?
No, I'm here, boys. How you going?
Yeah, we're doing all right, man. Now, tell us the backstory. Why are you in isolation?
Oh, can I just say before that, Woofo, you are sounding silky smooth.
It's good to get a seat at the big boy table, that's for sure.
Well, that's right, mate. You have got a face for radio, that's for sure.
Thanks, mate.
Definitely. Now, why I'm in isolation? Well, one of our crew members, Sean Cook, is a frontline nurse, and he's been giving us the updates about what's happening in the hospital system. But basically, he came home the other day and he said, listen, boys, pretty much you can't go and see anyone. You can't do anything. I'm a high-risk person in the community at the moment because he's dealing with it frontline. So for me, I'm actually up in isolation at the moment for the foreseeable future, really, on the Central Coast. So that's why I'm not there in person tonight, but give Woofo his big break.
Yeah, that's right. Now, you're at the Central Coast. You're working from home. Are you able to have a bit of a swim here and there while you're up the coast?
Yeah, well, don't tell the boss, but I did go for an hour and a half swim today. In the middle of the day. It was good. There wasn't a lot of people around. But yeah, went down to Womberall and had a swim. It wasn't too big. I was actually working on a couple of tricks.
Oh yes.
To bust out at some of the upcoming comps. Hopefully that will be happening this year.
Well, yes, that's what we're kind of focusing on tonight. What is going to be happening over the next few months while we're still working through this epidemic. Now, Owey, you're not here tonight. We had a great show last week with Harambe from the South Coast Chompers. Between the sets is our special date night. We get to hang out together and catch up. We don't see each other that often anymore. Is there anything you got to fill me in with before we let you go?
Well, what'd you have for dinner tonight, Tim?
Oh, I had a lovely bolognese. We actually slow cooked a bolognese all day and had a bit of pasta. Yeah. And I've been watching Grey's Anatomy in isolation here in the studio. So yeah, had a lovely dinner tonight.
You wouldn't believe it, but we actually used a slow cooker as well tonight. We made curried fish.
Ooh, yum.
And guess what? We were watching Grey's Anatomy as well. So,
I feel like everyone's watching Grey's. It's just a great comfort show.
Are we synced up?
We are, mate. We're on our cycle.
Well, I have been doing the video post your pad, so maybe we could sync up and post our pads, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what about, like, why have you been posting that? I don't think that's your thing.
Well, I feel as if there's just people are posting a lot of content at the moment. I may as well jump on board. I actually posted a TikTok today, believe it or not.
Now, you had a very good TikTok with Corey Sainsbury a while ago where you choreographed a dance together.
Yeah, he's TikTok famous.
Oh, is he? He's going viral.
He is, yeah.
You don't really want to be going viral these days.
Well, everything's going viral, isn't it? It's a sign of the times. Oh, really? You want to go? You want to go, or I'll go?
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a bit hard over the phone, isn't it?
Yeah, well, imagine if you were like, say, the Limey Pirate who was coming through. I think we did that phone chat on Instagram, and it was across the pond as well, so there was a bit of delay then.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just on the sunny coast. Now, speaking of the sunny coast, things are getting weird up here, Timmy.
Mm-hmm. How so?
Yeah, well, we're planning for the apocalypse. So we've made ourselves a little garden bed.
Mm.
We've got some fruit trees happening. I even actually one of my housemates got engaged the other day.
Well, that's what I was sort of asking, Owey, when I was asking, any news, because I think, you live with this bloke, Chokey, and he just got engaged. Congratulations. But you also live with Sean. I'm just wondering how the dynamic's going to change, because that was the batch pad.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, big time. I know. And well, I guess it's just Sean, Jamila, and Sammy out there at the moment. Jamila's actually moved in, TBH. so if we can get someone over there to get her out of the place, that'd be good. Otherwise, I might not be going back to anything. She might be in my room.
Yeah, well, between Sean and yourself, I'm sure you can stink that place up fine to get her out of there.
Well, that's right. I did make a big curry the other night, and it caught up with Sean a couple of days later. But what I will say about the sunny coast is it's a good vibe up here at the moment.
Yeah.
Like everyone's kind of just chilled. There's no stress. I mean, people are fearful about the virus, obviously, but everyone's just kind of going about their day to day, going for a surf and working from home. Mate,
yeah.
I'm not minding it. How's it down there in Sydney?
Well, yes, as you mentioned, Sean is a little bit scared of everything, especially because of his job as a nurse. However, I had a surf with him on Saturday, and he was like licking poles and kissing everyone, and he didn't care at all. So I don't know why he sent you packing. I just think he wanted to get rid of you.
Yeah, that's right. I know. He came in. He was very serious about the whole thing, and then he plays innocent, like, no, it's not my fault, mate. It's your fault. Like,
yeah.
I can't do anything. I'm out here. I'm alone.
Well,
the people the house that I'm staying at, they didn't even want me here, which is sad. But anyway, Timmy, I actually want to stream tonight because I've never streamed it. Obviously, I'm always on the panel with you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Well, who provides your internet, Owey?
I'm on Telstra at the moment, but to stream, I'm actually going to have to go in another room and probably go where the Optus reception is good.
Okay, Optus. Now, don't go anywhere near it.
Now, just before we go,
yeah, mate.
War Hand Planes Ricky Gilby was meant to be on tonight. Now he's dropped a little bit of information himself today about a new signing. Have you got this info?
Very big news. Tom Ma, who is he was world champion body surfer a while back and also rides for Defin. War have snagged him up and big signing for War. We've actually been chatting to Tom Ma, trying to get him on the podcast for a while. I believe he's still in America. Not sure what he's doing there, if he's body surfing or just having a little bit of a holiday. I know he's quite a competitive swimmer. He's also very good on the longboard. But yeah, huge signing for War. That's really exciting stuff. Yeah,
I'm excited. I want to hear all about what's happening in regards to Wompoff this year and Slidefest as well getting postponed. I'm excited, Timmy. So
Well, yeah.
I'm going to hand back to Woofo and you. You guys can take over. I've got a little beer, Rover Henty Street Ale.
Oh, lovely.
Obviously not a hairy man, but it's still good. It's still good. So I'm enjoying it, mate. And you guys have a good show, eh?
Enjoy, Owey. Thanks for calling in, mate. Talk to you soon.
See you, mate. Bye.
Bye.
See you, mate.
Well, I was just going to say the ratings aren't looking as good this week with Owey not here. Maybe he's the eye candy, and that's why everyone tunes in to have a look at Owey. But hopefully we see that number boost up one more as Owey jumps onto the stream, and we say good day to Owey, and thanks for calling in, and thanks for being safe and practicing social distancing. He's gone to, it's only 1.5 meters, I think, is the official length you've meant to stay away from another one.
We're way too close.
He's gone a few Ks away from us, so he's really practicing it tonight. As Owey mentioned, we've got a lot of news coming up, not only about Slidefest, which we did mention last week. There has been some news out of the Slidefest camp and what's happening with the Queensland competition, the only handboard competition in the world. We also have some news on Womp Off 2020. It was going to be down south, like really far down south. Ricky's still umming and ahhing about that. We have an official statement to read for you soon. But we'll also be catching up with Captain Kookman. Did you see what Captain Kookman posted recently? It was the anniversary of his interview on this show. So he's really excited about that, I guess. But also we just want to have a quick catch up with him over the phone to talk about Womp Camp 2020. Now, you went to Womp Camp last year.
I did.
Can you rate it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good time, eh?
Yeah.
Now, we took a few cases of beer. Everyone took all different stuff, different food. Someone was smoking a pig, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were all sharing food and beer and having a great old time. We got Ricky Gilby from War Hand Planes very drunk. I think he had a bottle and a half of red wine one night and decided to sponsor the Budgie Boys. So if you need a sponsor, if you're a crew looking for a sponsor, I can not endorse this anymore. You've got to get to Womp Camp and get one of these big names drunk, and then go, hey, can you sponsor our team? And they'll do it because the atmosphere is just electric there, and it's a really fun time, and it's a good opportunity to body surf with people you normally don't get to hang out with. We never see Belly Slater.
No.
The only time we would see him is probably at Womp Off and at Womp Camp. He commentates the most of the body surfing competitions, but yeah, that's one of the only times you get to surf with him. And even he popped in and out really quickly.
He did.
And did you see he really injured his leg? He had a massive cramp, a big calf cramp, popping out like Popeye. It was unbelievable stuff. But Belly, of course, did our little intro. Should we play that again?
Yeah, go for it.
I really like this. Here we go.
New and improved.
Fuck gear that's good as swell, that's clean, joint him and
Woofo.
in between the sets, between the sets.
Oh, how good's that production? Now,
So good.
I'm pretty sure Belly would have just recorded that on his phone.
Yep.
He wanted Owey to do some harmonies over the top of that, but we'll get to that one day. I think for now that works pretty good. Now, I've been waiting to get you on for a while, Woofo.
Yeah.
As soon as Owey pulled a sickie, as soon as Owey was a no-show, which I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. Really, I was getting you in here straight away. You've been our executive producer for a while now. What I guess the coronavirus has put our show off a little bit. We don't really know what to do here. I'm not even sure if we're allowed to be sitting this close to one another. Last week we had Harambe right in the middle of us, so we were really mucking up the rules. And actually, a mate messaged me and was actually a bit angry that we did it. He's a bit more political than I am, and he was just saying, mate, what are you doing? You got to obey all the rules and the laws. Anywho, I feel like in your own home, you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's fine. Maybe like a glass screen between us.
That would be cool. Yeah, so last week we had Harambe in here, but yeah, we're not really sure where we're heading now with this virus. We're not sure what guests we can book if people want to actually come here and have a chat to us. maybe this is an opportunity for us to do some international guests over the phone.
Yeah.
Worked quite well with the Limey Pirate. Maybe we start looking for, I don't want to say it because if it doesn't happen, I'm going to look like an idiot. But the MC, should we be chasing Mark Cunningham?
Why not? If you type his name into Google Podcast, there's plenty on there.
So he's been a guest on other people's shows.
For sure.
So it's almost like unjust that we haven't interviewed him, as we are the number one body surfing podcast.
I'm sure he knows all about us.
He's spoken to us a few times. He's very, very nice. I don't think he listens to the podcast, but I'm sure he knows of us, or at least the Budgie Boys. He was very, very nice at Wompoff last year. He came down quite early. I was there setting up, and he looked at the beach and he just had a really disappointed look on his face because it wasn't the greatest conditions out there, and he's used to like Hawaii, the best beaches in the world, and he comes all the way over on a massive long flight and he just looks out at Maroubra Beach and it's just...
Well, 2 years in a row he's come to surf 1 foot waves.
But he still has a crack, and what he does for the Hawaiian boys, he's such a mentor. He's such a great captain for that club and the team, and man, they just keep winning. It's like it's actually going to be interesting if they're able to get over here. I'm not sure when international flights are going to start back up again, but in a way, I want them to come because if someone was to beat them, that would be amazing. But also, if they weren't to come, it might give someone else a chance to scoot on up there.
Mate, we've gone from 13th to 9th. Can we go all the way up to 1?
Well, I think we need to get to 5th first. Fifth seems like a good spot to get to.
Goldie Sliders came 5th last
Exactly. They did really, really well. And obviously they had improved so much and they continue to improve. Like we just had a surf with them the other day. I had a surf with Hamish at Cronulla. I surfed with a lot of the Goldie Sliders at Urban Surf in Melbourne. And they're doing things streets ahead of us.
Yeah, they are.
So if we want to get to 5th, we've really got to tighten our shoelaces a bit, mate. Actually, as you know, EP of the podcast, but also a member of the Budgie Boys, what sort of things are you going to start pulling out once competition season starts up again?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't even know if I'm allowed to go. I've just got another kid in the way. So, yeah, that's going to be the tough one. But
that's going to slow you down a bit, mainly for things like Womp Camp, where it's just a massive piss up. I don't think the Misso is going to give you a pass for that one. But when the competitions start back up again, I'm sure you're allowed to still come and compete with us.
Well, I'm hoping for a couple of competitions to be delayed, be held later in the year, and that'll give me a better chance to come.
Well, actually, let's get to that right now. I'm going to just pull up Trav. Actually, someone just mentioned that comments are off. I'm not sure if you know how to fix that.
Did you set it for children again?
Possibly.
Damn it.
Doesn't matter. We don't need comments tonight. All right, sorry about this. I'm just going to get Travi's number up now and give him a call because we're going to just ask him a few questions about Slide Fest 2020. We made an official statement last week, but let's just see. Let's see if there's any new news with Slide Fest 2020. Trav Davies, how you doing, mate?
Hey guys, how you going?
Yeah, good. Woofo's actually in the chair for Owey tonight because Owey's in isolation.
Yeah, I saw an Instagram movie from Owey. Had his head on the screen for the night as usual. That's good. Woofo's got to step it up, but I reckon.
Yeah, big shoes to fill.
Actually, very small shoes. So he has extremely small feet and actually struggles finding flippers that will fit him. We got you there, Trav? Oh, yeah.
Yep,
no worries.
Yep.
So, last week we read out your official statement about Slide Fest 2020. Is there any more news that you can tell us about?
No, there's no more news. I've actually had the lifeguards in touch with me, and they actually congratulated me on postponing it. Like I was hanging on to it as long as I could, just to give everyone, something to look forward to. Every time we seem to turn our phone on or turn the radio on or something like that, it's pretty negative. But I've postponed it. I haven't cancelled it. I've got a lot of months left in the year, so hopefully we can get it going. I've got 20 entered, and those 20, no one sort of has said, I want a refund. They're all hanging on to the fact that it's gonna run, so fingers crossed.
Absolutely, man. As you said, there's so much negativity out there at the moment, and this was something a lot of people were looking forward to. So if you are able to run it later this year, you definitely would. If things got really out of hand and we weren't able to do this for a while, would you think about just postponing it until next year?
I'll just follow the world, like realistically, Slidefest is a very, very small dot on what's happening around the world. There's people dying and all sorts of stuff. So, and as I say, there's a lot of months left this year, and realistically on the Gold Coast, the waves are good right up until sort of October, and then it sort of springs out a little bit. So we'll just play it by ear, and you guys can be the ones to let everyone know that things are still happening, still in the background, and yeah, fingers crossed everything gets better and our little community keeps growing and we can run an event or two and, as I say, a camp and Ricky's event and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully it all can run ahead.
Absolutely, man. Now, because everything's happening and it's pretty full on at the moment, I've noticed that there's been a lot of online sales. Now, have Slide Australia got any special deals cranking at the moment?
I'm in a bit of a bad situation there because I'm actually, Slide, the website's actually ticking over. I'm selling boards each day. So if I drop my pants and drop the price, I'm going to offend some people that have bought boards in the last few weeks. So,
well, maybe people are buying handboards at the moment because it's really one of the only sports you can still do. A lot of team sport has been cancelled. Gyms are closed, but we're still able, for now at least, to go and have a swim at the beach. So maybe people are thinking, hey, this is a great time to get into body surfing.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. I still get regular messages pretty much every day, what to buy, where to go, all this sort of stuff. And, I give advice, and I don't care if they buy one of mine or they buy any sort of handbag, they buy one and get into it. And apparently we're not a sport at the moment, we're an exercise. Otherwise we can keep doing it.
Well, yeah, it's honestly the only fitness regime I have, especially now, everything's sort of shut, gyms are closed, as I mentioned. But, it has been fun to get out. Have you been able to get into the water recently, Trav?
I do most days.
Nice.
I do most days. I go down for an hour or so. Actually, this morning was a little bit longer. It was closer to 4. Pretty epic today.
Nice.
It's, as I say, there was 5 or 6 of us out there this morning. I knew 3 of them and didn't know 3. And there's people still in the water and everyone's unsure what's happening. But I tell you right now, you paddle out the back and you don't hear about anybody. It's the only place where I reckon we've got a little bit of solitude, and I think that's why I like not looking at any media and going out there for a couple of hours each day.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a few weeks ago, we were lucky enough to have a surf together at Urban Surf in Melbourne. You just sent us a USB with all the photos of it. Now, you put 2 folders on this USB, Tim and Owey, and I haven't actually shown Owey his photos yet. But in my folder, there was actually a few sneaky photos of yourself. Was that a deliberate thing?
No, I just had 10,000 photos to go through. If you scored some of mine, it's because you were Tim next to Trav, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's right. I thought you were just showing off and wanted to show me some of your hot photos.
No, sorry, mate. That was an accident.
No, I liked them. They were really good. And thank you so much for organising that trip and sending through all those photos. We had so much fun. And every day I'm still seeing people post photos from that event. So they've got plenty of Connie T to live off for the next few months.
Oh, I've got enough photos to last for a year or so. So
I was very stoked to see the other day that you put up your photo of yourself with the double Grom handboard. That was very, very cool. And today you put up your party wave photo with your son Ace. So you got heaps of content out of Urban Surf.
Yeah, it was a good day, and I actually can't wait to go back. And I know a few other people were going to go and cancelled.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a good
facility when it's open. So
that's right. Urban Surf had to unfortunately shut down due to the coronavirus. At the same way, I guess most public pools are shutting down right now. It's just not safe to have those places open. So it's a bit of a shame because for the people of Melbourne, that's really the only place you can have a surf. So hopefully that's up and running soon, as are all our other body surfing events that are booked in for this year. Thanks so much for chatting to us. Trav, hope you have a good surf tomorrow. Hamish has already given you a bit of flack on the chat, but I'll let you read that later.
Is he? You're probably already there. He's probably down there. You're trying to recruit him. You're down there. Might be trying to. You keep your hands off Hamish. Now.
That's right. He's thinking about coming over with us. I think
We'll take him.
Yeah, we've already made an official offer, so we'll see how that goes. Have a good one, Trav. We'll catch up soon, man.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Thanks again.
Bye. All right, Trav Davies there from Slide Handboards Australia, and I'll just repeat the official notice that he sent through to us last week. So Slidefest Australia, powered by Defin Hawaii and Australia, have given us an official COVID-19 position update. So to entrance fans and everyone that has been contacting us for the last few days about our developing situation with the coronavirus and Slidefest Australia 2020, as of last week, Slidefest Australia is following Queensland government guidelines, and we have no choice but to postpone the May 16th event. We tried to stay positive and tried to keep something we can all look forward to, but unfortunately we had no choice than to postpone Slidefest 2020. So for now, we are on a holding pattern. Let's all do our bit and social distance, obviously not participate in things with large groups and follow all the guidelines and adhere to government and medical experts. Now, they're going to keep you updated, and if, as soon as we know anything, we will be mentioning it on the podcast, as the Budgie Boys are the official media partner of Slide Handplanes Australia's Slidefest 2020. I'm really disappointed about that one, Woofo. I was really looking forward to flying to the Goldie. I was going to sort of commentate and MC and have a lot of fun there, but you know what? Better safe than sorry. You know, this was going to be quite a big-ish event, a gathering of way more probably than 50 people.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer. You've got to pull it off. You just can't do that with the guidelines in place. And I actually heard the other day, gatherings of more than 2 people are pretty much cancelled.
Yeah, it's gone from 10 down to 2 now.
So we can't do really anything at the moment. So thanks, Trav, for just clearing everything up with us. But hopefully we can get that one back on the calendar soon. If not, maybe we've got to think about 2021, which is when, you know, they've already postponed the Tokyo Olympics to 2021.
I'm pretty confident we'll go this year. It'll be on this year.
The Slide Fest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think Trav's going to do everything he can do to get that
He's
going.
put this much work into it now. It's too hard to let it go.
Absolutely, man. Alrighty, now with that all in mind, we thought we would also check in with Ricky Gilby, who is the founder of War Handplanes and the founder of Womp Off. Now, Womp Off 2020, as we mentioned earlier, was going to be held somewhere down south. That was to help build the economy of places that were affected by our summer bushfires. So we wanted to go to somewhere really far down south, you know, buy stuff there, buy food, buy beer, buy accommodation, do anything we can do to circulate some money into their economy to get things back up and running again. Unfortunately, it looks like now coronavirus may even be affecting Womp Off 2020, which is a real shame. Now, no big news has come out about this yet. We've just asked Ricky Gilby for a comment. He hadn't really even announced where it was going to be or the dates or anything like that, but we always know it's kind of in the October holidays, around grand final weekend. So Ricky has given us this statement. As long as the world keeps on spinning and we are one day let out of lockdown, Womp Off Australia will return. Will it be this year? I don't know. I'm reluctant to push it back until November due to a lack of swell potential. So if it is postponed, we may be looking at the first autumn-winter Womp Off in its history. Time will tell, but in the meantime, stay the F at home. Thanks for that, Ricky. That's interesting because Ricky seems to be very concerned about swell and doesn't really want to put it at a time where there's going to be a lull. The ironic thing about that is I don't think a Womp Off's ever had really big swell.
Exactly.
I think the first Womp Off was in Stanley or somewhere down south.
I think it was at Macaulay's Beach, maybe.
Was it? Yeah. And then that's when Bait Bay won.
Yep.
They brought it to Cronulla.
Yep.
That day, obviously, it goes down in the history books as one of the worst days of Cronulla's been.
We were on debut.
And then last year we had it at Maroubra. Now, Maroubra is one of my favourite beaches to surf and often very consistent.
It is.
We got very unlucky. The day before Womp Off last year was a screamer. I had one of the best surfs I've ever had. I went out like 3 times that day. I was getting so sunburnt because I just couldn't get out of the water. But unfortunately, the next day it pissed down raining, big storms. I remember the big lightning struck as we were about to start the competition, and just shocking surf conditions. So it's funny that Ricky's thinking about that, because I'm guessing he just really wants some good surf, because he's probably over the fact that he's never really pulled good conditions off. Going down south changes things. Also, there was talk about having a waiting period similar to Slide Fest.
Yep.
Is all this Corona chat getting in the way of just, a basic competition? Should we just go when we can go and find a good weekend that works and just not worry too much about the surf and just get the comp out there?
Well, it's just hard with everyone who travels. I think that's the hard part.
Absolutely.
The New South Wales guys, I reckon, could get together with a fortnight's notice.
Yeah.
But then again, I've holidayed down on the South Coast every summer my whole life pretty much, and I can't really remember a time when there's been no waves down there. So I think it's pretty good kind of swell magnet, even like down around Bendalong somewhere. I'm pretty confident we'll get some waves.
Absolutely, but you do raise a good point, Woofo. For international travellers and even travellers out of state, how are they going to get all the way not only to Sydney but then down south? So I think about Hawaii flying over here. They've got to go to Sydney Airport and then somehow get down south. Now, if Hawaii decide, okay, we're going to make a week or 2 out of this, they can come here, surf a bit of Sydney, then drive down and maybe rent a cabin and stay there for a while and explore some of the south coast. I think of also the Goldie Sliders. It's a big trip for them, coming all the way to Sydney and then doing the same thing.
Dugongs.
The Dugongs, oh my
WA.
goodness, that's almost a worse flight than Hawaii, coming all the way from Perth. So these are things we don't think about. We live in Sutherland, in the Sutherland Shire. Mate, you could call me up the night before and I'd be there.
Yeah.
It's not going to really do anything for us. But for those guys who do travel a long way, we've got to think about them because we want them here. And I've heard, a few rumours here and there saying we might not be able to do it because of where we live geographically. So I would hate for that to be a reason for why people can't come. And if they have enough notice, hopefully they can sort out some stuff. And, people are welcome to come and stay with me if you need a place to crash, and then we can drive down together, because this competition works because it is the only team competition. And the more teams we have, and especially from different parts of the world and different parts of our country, it just works so much better. I would hate for the Goldie Sliders not to be there.
Yeah,
I would really, really be disappointed. Even to fin Hawaii, it wouldn't be the end of the world because it would give someone else to have a go.
Yep.
But it would suck if they couldn't come here, because they've been a part of this competition for a long time now, and they've won twice, and it'd be cool if they could take it out 3 times.
Yeah, well, I think Ricky's always had we had the issue this year with having too many people wanting to come.
Yeah, true.
So
it could naturally help that issue.
I reckon a 6 or an 8 team Womp-Off would still be pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. Maybe that's Ricky's thoughts. Put it somewhere a bit harder to get to, and it might prevent a few teams from coming because so many people want to be involved. He also did talk about sort of a prelim sort of system where you've got to get into Womp-Off, and so I'm not sure if we're safe or not. I
think that idea's off the table now.
Possibly due to what's happening. So yeah, we'll just wait and see, and we'll try and get Ricky on the podcast soon to have a bit of a chat about it when he knows more about what's going on. Now, another thing we need to talk about: Womp Camp.
Yep.
This is a bit more fun.
Yep.
This is where is it again, Woofo?
Seals Rocks. Treachery Camp.
Treachery Camp. Now, we got the cabin last time, had a great time. We actually recorded a live podcast from Womp Camp 2019, so you can go back and listen to that if you want. It was pretty rogue. We had awful equipment. At one point of the podcast, I hit the desk because it's got a big buzz running through it. Now we've got some good equipment. It would have been really fun to take all this stuff down, record a really good show, and put it up for you guys to see later. But who knows if that's going ahead. So what I wanted to do now is call one of the many founders of Womp Camp,
yep.
Kookman. Captain Cookman. So let's just grab him up on the phone now and just see if he's got any information about Womp Camp 2020. Hope he picks up.
He'll be watching.
Hi, you called Womp Camp Australia helpline. Unfortunately, all our operators are busy at the moment. So if you please leave your name, number, and a brief message, we'll get back to you shortly. Bye.
Yeah, hey, Captain Cookman, it's Tim and Woofo here. We're doing the podcast. Just want to know what the go is with Womp Camp 2020.
Oh, good to speak to you, fellas. So I know I've been watching, so I'm going to have to step out to talk to you because I've got asleep children, but not that worries you. Consulted the OGs of Womp Camp today, so the executive committee got together. And at the moment, there's a lot of news out there, but we've decided to, just hold off any announcements for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we're monitoring the situation. We're watching the advice from medical practitioners, and also staying close to your local camping regions. So some caravan parks are actually not taking bookings.
Yes.
So we're monitoring that, and only used for emergency reasons and all that kind of stuff. So I was going to Culburra and Easter, and we've had to cancel that due to the thing.
Yeah.
So we're just going to monitor and hold for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Absolutely. Now, I did see that the campsite that we go to for Womp Camp was still open and taking bookings. Now, that was a few weeks ago. I'm wondering if things may have changed there recently.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Just in relation, I know with a place like Culburra, they were basically, you can't come down, and that's the government had closed them down. I have been watching Treachery and the guys there fairly closely. I think just because it's not your standard sort of camping ground, they were limiting bookings and all that kind of stuff to get a bit of the social distancing within the campsite. So that, I don't know what effect that has on our numbers and all that kind of stuff. But, when you think about social distancing and the numbers we have there, we're all pretty much covering each other, all night, every night and all day. So that can cause a problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you've heard a little bit of what we've had to say about Womp Off and Slide Fest. Are you sort of just hanging in there with all your body surfing news and trying to work out what you're going to be doing for the rest of the year?
It is a bit depressing because you look forward to these things. So, the Central Coast Body Surfers, which I know Owey's now an honorary member, seeing that he's isolating up here. We've been maintaining 1 car's length distance between when we park at the beach. Oh, wow. So we're monitoring that. There are these people that jump in between. I'm not too impressed by them, but they're not part of our group. And noticing it, actually, as weird as it is, but, even when we're in the water the other day, there's might only been 4 of us, but we're keeping our distance, even though we've known each other for a while, just keeping safe, I suppose.
Yeah, now, you do work in finance. Have you been working from home?
Banking. I work in banking and finance, as you know. I have been in the office, and I will be in there tomorrow, as much as I don't want to. But we're getting our temperature check as we enter the building.
Yeah, so, wow. Now, what temperature are you hitting most days?
Well, it is like RBT. I don't know if I'm going to go over or under, and they throw to an ad break just to keep the suspense up. Yes. But I was, I think, on when was I in there last Friday? I was 34.6 degrees on one of my checks, right, which was with the fine range.
Yeah, well,
it is. I was going to say that I am working from home as much as I can.
Yeah. I wonder if you went for a bit of a jog before you got tested, if you would, blow over and get to go home.
Oh, there was people pulled to the side.
Wow.
So, I was waiting for the swab.
Scary stuff. Yeah, no, you don't want the swab. Yeah. It looks pretty painful, actually.
Oh, I meant for the meth.
All right. Well, thank you so much for updating us with the Womp Camp news. If there's any developments, are we able to get back onto the Womp Camp helpline and ask these sort of questions?
Yeah, we are running hot and we are limited staff, but no, we'll do our best to get back to you. If you're not, leave a message and we'll get one of the office staff to give you a call back.
Thank you very much, Captain
Thanks,
Cook, man. Have a good one, man.
Before you hang up there, Woofo, I think you're a great addition to the screen, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Because I'm surprised that the viewers are down because you're better eye candy view than Owey.
100%.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Have a good one, man. Bye.
Love your work, guys. Love you too. Bye.
Hey, mate.
Good stuff. All right. I think that's pretty much all we had to cover tonight. We've actually covered a lot. This is what happens when Owey's away. We kind of plan a bit of a show. Normally, Owey
You've had the notes in front of you the whole time.
Yeah, well,
and I'm just sitting here just going, I hope he knows what he's talking about.
Well, often Owey derails us and we start talking about foreskin or who knows, spag bowl or anything. So it's good tonight to talk about a bit of body surfing, which is unusual for between the sets. But this has been a coronavirus special, a corona cast, if you will. And we'll be back next week with a special guest. We haven't booked anyone, Woofo. But we're thinking maybe we try and do some international guests while we're in lockdown. Maybe we can do them over the phone. I'm not sure if when Owey's coming back either. So that's going to be tricky. We'll try and work around that. But have a good one, guys. We've got to get out of here. Do it all again real soon. But for now,
it's always overhead when you're body surfing.
bye.
Bye.